Hey everyone, this is Magdala here. I wanted to come here to talk today about an interesting morning that I've had. It was filled with sadness and regret, but hope and inspiration, and I wanted to share it with you. I don't normally come here and just start chatting away and sharing a lot of personal information, mainly because I'm a very private person. But the nature of what I do is personal, right? To do coaching and to share this personal journey with people, it's personal for me because a lot of what I do is because of what I've been through and the healing process that I've experienced myself, and that's what I share with my clients. And so I just really wanted to talk about this experience today because it really moved me quite a bit. So I realized today more than ever that I've been running around in circles in my mind and in my life for way too long. I've always known this, but I think today, this morning, it became more abundantly clear and confirmed that this is a pattern that I've had for a long time. Perhaps, March is Women History Month. Maybe this is a Women History Month gift to me and to you, but I really wanted to share this with you because I think you might find it inspirational. First of all, if you know about the Bible, you know there's a story about the Israelites after they escaped Egypt and they, had the promise to get to the, promised land. But it took them 40 years to get to a destination that should have only taken them, let's say, 30 days, right? And that happened because they were disobedient, they had fear, lack of faith, and they were grumbling and complaining, and they just couldn't see the future that God had promised them. Basically, it was all about their mindset. Their mindset kept them from reaching their destination. And if you know this story, then you know my story, and maybe that's also your story, because so many of us deal with this wandering spirit where we're just not seeing the goal and the destination that is our purpose. So I'm in the process of preparing for a workshop that I want to do for my community. And so I'm thinking of, creating my presentation from scratch, right? As I'm clearing out my working space, I found a presentation that I did 3 years ago on financial literacy. And the presentation was about financial freedom and financial peace. I remember doing this presentation, but I didn't remember the content of it. And when I read through this presentation, I realized that I am basically starting a business now with all the information from that presentation all these years ago. And I did not remember the content of this presentation. I didn't realize that 3 years ago, I was talking about behavioral finance. I was talking about the psychology of finance, personality and money, life planning, and financial planning, and general financial well-being and peace. I didn't think I had these thoughts back then. I thought all of this information came to me just a couple of months ago, right? Last year, the summer of last year, when I decided to do financial therapies. It's almost like I wrote the presentation on autopilot. All this information has been in me all these years, but I didn't even know it. I'm reading my words. It's almost like I'm reading someone else's stuff. I'm like, where did this come from? How do I not remember that I included all this information? How did I not know that I was already talking about the emotional side of money, but yet none of that clicked to me? None of it at all. And even after that presentation, I got really good feedback. Everyone from the seminar were talking about how, insightful it was thought-provoking, it was informative, it was life-changing. And when they told me all this stuff, I was like, yeah, great. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. And that was it. I was done with the presentation. Then I just moved on and went back to life as usual. If you don't know this about me, I'm pretty sure you don't because I haven't really shared it, but I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm an expat. I live in the Middle East, and I'm from the U.S. and Haiti, of course, right? I'm Haitian. I lived in the U.S. and now I live in the Middle East. and I'm a stay-at-home mom with my kids. So I just went back to that life, right? If someone asked me to do a presentation on finance or financial literacy, I will do it gladly. But other than that, I would just go back to being a mom and staying at home and taking care of my kids. I was so sad, angry, and confused this morning when I was going through this presentation because I couldn't believe that I had all these ideas so many years ago and I didn't do anything with it. I think about the missed opportunities or the impact that I could have had, decades ago if I had actually taken this seriously and accepted this as my purpose. I think my anger or sadness, more sadness than anger, came from not just seeing this presentation, but thinking back how, 20 years ago, I decided to study finance and psychology. 17 years ago, when I was interviewing for finance jobs, I always talked about the importance of psychology, understanding the human mind, and how that could help me understand my clients' financial needs better so I could help them meet their financial goals. I think back on, all the years that I've been helping people with financial literacy, kids and adults, but I just did it, on a voluntary basis. I just wanted to help and share knowledge with people. So I've kind of been doing this all these years, but I never thought it was my purpose. I never thought it was the thing that I was supposed to do with my life. I've always been searching for my purpose, right? That's my thing. I'm a soul searcher. So I've always been trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? Why did it never occur to me that, hello, maybe this is what you were put on this earth for, right? Money is connected to life, to everything. I thought my purpose was grander, right? But this is very important because it's not just about money, right? It's not, because money is life. It touches everything. So by helping someone deal with their money, you're helping them change and transform their lives. So it's a very important purpose and area, but I just didn't think like that was it for me. So I just thought it was something that I'd do on the side and help out, but I didn't think I could make a business out of it. And I don't know why. Perhaps I thought I was supposed to be doing something else. It probably took me this long to get here because I was dealing with a lot of unbrokenness that I wasn't even aware of, right? I had a lot of limiting beliefs and unresolved emotional issues from my childhood that I didn't know were really driving a lot of my behaviors, my lack of action, or my confusion. So that all had to be cleared up before I could finally see my purpose. It's not until I dealt with my emotional issues. I went through this amazing life transformational journey of dealing with my, childhood issues, my emotions, getting deliverance and getting freed. I finally could get enough clarity to see things as they were. So all the things that were in front of me before, I couldn't see it because I just didn't have the room, the room in my head or in my heart for it to take root, right? I had to clear all of that out first. And I think that is one thing that I'm realizing. I didn't know that 3 years ago because I hadn't gone through my journey. And perhaps even if I had started doing financial coaching back then, I wouldn't have incorporated this, right? Which is, I think, the most important part of what sets me apart in my financial coaching practice is that I want to help people deal with the stuff that's underneath, not just, okay, let's understand your financial situation, let's help you achieve your goals, but like what got you here? Like what is driving your behaviors? What are the underlying issues? Like how have your past experiences affected, how you relate to money and to life, and how do you make decisions based on those experiences? And healing from that and addressing that is what really is important to help you get to a place of clarity so that you're really changing from the inside out, not just from the outside, not just your behaviors, but really from the inside. And if I have to be honest too, another part of what held me back is the fact that me as a woman, a wife and mother got so caught up in those roles that I didn't take the time to plan for my personal well-being or my personal development. I was so focused on being, a great mom, I'm staying at home with the kids, giving them all the things that I didn't have when I was growing up, because my mother was so busy, she working so hard just to provide the bare necessities for me, and she had to make decisions just to provide and survive, whereas me, I had the privilege, of being at home with my kids, and I could really pour into them all the things I didn't have. So in some way I was overcompensating, but it was all happening subconsciously, right? I didn't know I was doing this. I just thought I was being a great mom. I was just taking care of my kids and giving them everything that, I didn't have. And I let go of myself. I was numb. I was just kind of like surviving, living day to day and just pouring into everyone but myself. And a lot of us women, we do that, right? Especially when we become mothers. We focus on the kids. We focus on the home. We focus on our husbands. We focus on everything else. And we completely let go of our dreams and our aspirations. And, before we know it, 18 years later, we wake up and we're like, wait, what happened to my life? Kids are grown, they're out. My husband's career is, exactly where he wanted it to go. But here I am, and I'm just like trying to find myself. And I realized that held me back. And I've spoken to some older friends. That's why it's good to have, people that you could talk to about life, especially, older, wiser people who've already been where you are. And to speaking to them, it made me realize that I need to start taking active steps in my life right now to pursue my goals and dreams, to make sure that I'm filling my own bucket as well as other people's, because I didn't want to wake up, 20 years later realizing that I was just kind of like going through the motions with the kids, with life. And now that they're grown, they have their own lives, and then I have nothing to show for it. So all of this together, I think, helped me to realize that, or to get clarity, right? All of this helped me to get clarity in the past couple of months, to the point where I could finally create this business of financial therapies. And the purpose of it is to help people understand the emotions that are driving their decisions in life, not only with money, but in other areas of life, because everything is so interconnected, and how we could deal with that so that we could have financial breakthrough, life breakthrough, and really start living our purpose. And it's really sad that it took me so long to get here. And I do feel angry, and I just feel like I wasted a lot of time, but I'm also hopeful, right? And I'm okay with knowing that I'm on my own path, right? We're all on our own journey, or our own time frame, and somebody else's time frame is not mine. So I have to accept that. And I'm glad to be here right now, at least, right? I still have plenty of time. I'm still young enough to make a lot of impact. And I want to remind you that you can, no matter where you are in life, right? No matter what your desert is, what you're wondering, and whether it's your finances, it's your life, your career, your parenting, your marriage, any part of your life that you've been wandering in that desert and for however long, it's okay, right? You are where you are now. Once you know better, it's time to start taking actions to do better. Yes, you're gonna feel all the feelings that I'm feeling now, right? Like the emotions of, regret, resentment, confusion, pain, because you're wondering, like, why did I not see this before? I should have known better. I'm an intelligent human being. How could I have not, made more of my life? And yes, it's okay. Whatever you're feeling, it's all right. We've all been there, and it's human nature. But you have to realize that a lot of what we deal with is being driven by our subconscious. You're not even aware that you're doing it. You know better, but you're not doing better because your subconscious is basically running the show. And so I want to encourage you today, like I'm encouraging myself, because I'm a little better now, but a couple of hours ago, I was like in complete distress. And a good friend of mine, Miss Margaret, she was just telling me, God is always on time, right? And where you are now, you weren't there 3 years ago or 10 years ago. Like, you wouldn't have this experience now. And you're in a better position now because of those experiences, so that you could be more impactful. And so that definitely helped me to feel better, because yes, God is always on time. His purpose for me is perfect, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I'll accept that, and I'll just, use that to start focusing on my destination and doing the best that I can now, because I have more information than I did in the past. And I do feel that with that, I could be more impactful and more successful in what I do. And so, yeah, this is it. This was my little vulnerable moment that I wanted to share with you. And let me know what you're thinking, what you're dealing with, and how I can help. All right? You have a good day and happy Women's History Month. Let's get it, ladies. Bye-bye.